What's some of your favorite magic from that shoot?
um, I really love doing models. Like we did one. I'm never gonna be able to tell you the name of the episode. It was the glider thing. Remember the glider? It's kind of like a triangle spaceship.
The cargo ship going through the trees.
Cargo ship. Yeah,
Yeah,
cargo ship
that's
going through the
Last
tree.
Stand, season 5.
There you go. Like I was really proud of that because we figured it out. Like the best way to do this is not to try and mimic it in CG. Let's just take a black box version or a green screen box version. Actually, it would have been a blue screen box version of this spaceship. Let's build it to size. So whatever it would have been, say, I want to say fifth scale maybe. And then we built a whole bunch of trees that we put in these little posts, and then we just blew this thing through those trees. We did it over and over and shot at this angle, shot at that angle, shot at another angle, and then took it to GVFX. They did Doug Campbell actually did the work. He actually won an Emmy for Game of Thrones too.
Wow.
And he was a compositor that did that work. And then putting those shots together and seeing just like put the CG version on top of the blue box, and now this CG spaceship's blowing through real trees and getting all the real dynamics. Like that perfect blend of CG and real was for me totally magical because it kind of like suddenly had a life that a lot of times if you go all CG or if you went all even models maybe just wasn't there.
Right.
So like those worked really well, and then the replicators and
Oh, Image Engine, right?
yeah, yeah, Image Engine, but Image Engine in a different time. Like Image Engine now is a huge studio, super successful. What they did with Neil Blomkamp, who actually was one of our Stargate effects guys for a couple of years, when they
Neil
did on
worked on
DVD.
Stargate?
Yeah, Neil
I
was
didn't
like,
know that.
mhm,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah, with
when he was
District
really
9,
young.
the prawns are something, and every time
Yeah,
I would reference it, like those guys did the replicators.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was a different time, right? Like Image Engine was a much smaller company. They it was only five or six people. There was a guy there, Craig Van den Bigelaar, who was kind of like one of my great collaborators. Him and Doug Campbell and Bruce Woloshyn and Christine Petroff. Like these were the kind of the main senior artists that I got to work with. Robin Hackle, who was also one of the owners of Image Engine, and they were always like my first point of contacts. When I get a script, it would be like, okay, this week we have to do this. How are we going to do this? And then we would all sort of sit down and strategize this together. Actually, I'm having an interesting memory. Not Stargate, but a few years later, I did one of the Twilight movies, and Robin Hackle was put on that because they were one of the vendors for the, I want to say, the running really fast, and then also some of the wolves. And I just
Mm.
remember sitting with him when we were trying to work out how to do the running really fast through the woods together, and us just like doing this. Like, what if we tried this? What if we do that? And there's like, oh, that's the core of awesome effects. Is you're working with these people who are your friends, and you kind of everybody's got their strengths, and my strength was set, and then his strength was computer compositing with a nuke and stuff, and then to be able to like, and Craig's strength was CG and lighting, and to be able to like each kind of say this would be the best way for us to do that. You just end up with like the best product. So I'd say that's magic. And then there's this one shot where again, I'll never be able to quote the episode, but Amanda is goes outside of her house, and she reaches down and picks up a newspaper and then stands back up, and the like in the background there
Sean
was
Patrick
nothing.
Flannery.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And then she stands up and suddenly that dude's just standing right there and is like, how the hell did he get there so quickly? And I just loved the magic of that, of like figuring out, okay, if we just do this magic trick here, we can make this work and it'll be a great reveal. Like it'll just be like, whoa, like everyone will be all shocked. And I felt like that worked really well. Oh, and also another one would be Rick when he was fighting himself. Um, Bruce and I figured out how to basically do kind of early face replacement. It's no big deal nowadays. Like anybody, it's being done constantly. But back then, it was just a like, oh, the amount of time we spent shooting to get it totally right. So we shoot him in one pass, and then he was doing it with Dan Shea,
Right.
and then we'd flop them, and then he would like do that arm wrestle thing, or with Dan Shea under his arm. So you get Rick. You basically just needed Rick on screen in both performances at the same time, seeing them looking towards camera at the same time. And that Bruce, spent weeks finessing that to make it perfect, and it just looked great. It was
It looks
so
great. Yeah, doppelganger.
yeah,
You have to have the at least some sequence like that, especially because I mean it's
yeah,
Jack for crying out loud. So,
yeah.
and Michael Shanks directed that episode.
He did.
So
That's right. That's right. I have a picture of me and Rick like looking at the splitter monitor, and I'm talking him through how we're doing this. And I always love that. He's such a good guy. He's such a nice man.
for an episode like Ascension, where you had Sean Patrick Flannery as Orlin, and the camera goes down and it comes back up, I just always assumed that shot he was painted out
Yeah,
of and
yeah.
just composited over from a shot where he wasn't there, and you just locked the camera
He was
off.
always there. So she came out, and he was
Wow.
always there, always there, always there till down and reveal, and then he's still there. But we just painted him out from before. So you basically remove him from the head of the shot, and then he can just stand there the whole time. It was super simple, and it took nothing to do, but it was and anytime you do those sort of barroom switchy kind of like the camera is looking and then it goes here and it comes back and something's changed, like all of that is fun. Like that playing with the edges of the frame always for me feels magic-y. That's what magicians do.
A lot of it too, you also have to spend money on things that don't appear on camera. I had a conversation with Bruce once about rig removal, where there are cables in shots and he would have to digitally erase them. He would say that
Yeah,
that's hard, and if you do it
hard.
right, you will never know that anyone touched it.
Totally. Yeah, and just takes forever, especially if you got rigs that are across people's faces or wires that go or over body. Like that was another part of Matter of Time is we shot them all hanging on wires with a camera kind of looking up or looking down, and then you take it and you comp it into a regular angle. So then basically your gravity is shifted to the right side of frame, say. But what was hard in there is all what they're hanging on wires. So you got to get rid of the wires. Like there's all these support wires, and the wires will go over their leg. And it's not just a matter of painting it out from over the leg. A lot of times the wire will kind of like, will sort of pull the fabric
Mm-hmm.
of the arm. And so you got to get rid of that effect. And it's a hard work. I'm not a capable CG artist myself. I have spent time on the machines, but I was always a management person. But I did at one point go to Atmosphere for, I don't know what it was, maybe 4 or 5 months, and just sat and was a junior compositor. And I actually painted, what did I do? I painted something out, just a horrible rig removal for one of the Battlestar Galactica shots. And it was this wire that was like wrapped all around this actor. And I was like,
Oh
get rid of the
gosh.
wire. Like, oh, I spent so much time on that. So much respect for people that, smart again, just a lot of really smart people figuring out ways to do this stuff.
And patience. A lot of patience.
Yeah. And
The
now we have all these AIs that just do it for us automatically. Remove the wiring. Gone.
right, like it's that simple.
I know.
Thanks for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. It's our goal to share a new Stargate story every day while we're on break. Please feel free to subscribe to future episodes here on YouTube. And if you have Stargate friends who might like this clip, let them know about us. Be sure to visit dialthegate.com to view the complete archive, as well as transcripts from past interviews. I'll see you on the other side.